All right, welcome everybody. Appreciate y'all joining us for our Sankofa experiences by Urban Intellectuals. Our conversation tonight talking about going to Ethiopia. All right, excited to have this trip. This 2025 will be our first year doing a travel tour to Ethiopia. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. I'm curious, what makes you interested in Ethiopia? Why is this the destination of choice for you? Or y'all just hanging out because hanging out, learning about all of the destinations, all of the trips. I'm just kind of curious to there. So yeah, I would love to hear, or you can type it down in the comments, like what is it about Ethiopia that kind of draws your interest? Is it just a place that you've always wanted to go? Hey, Freddie, I'll go anywhere on the African continent. Is that our feeling? Or, does it hold some sort of special place in your heart? Or are you just here for information, right? Let me see. How can I make this easy? Give me an E in the comments. There you go. Okay, all right, there we go. Always wanted to go. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Barbara. Appreciate that. Always wanted to go a place I've always wanted to go. The people are gorgeous and nice. Yeah, all right. That's the truth. East Africa definitely has their own vibe. Gathering info, not on my short list. Okay, Gwen. Gwen's just saying, listen, I'm still checking y'all out. I need to check y'all out a little bit more and see a bit more of your process and how things go. So I appreciate you being here, Gwen. And I appreciate everybody for showing up and engaging with us. Curiosity, okay, I got it. Interested in the information. Hey, Anita, appreciate you joining. Elaine. All right. And I love to do my where are you at in this world check. So where are y'all watching from this evening? This evening. It's been a long day, man. I've been doing I feel like I've been on a marathon interview session. We got some special things coming up here in the company, and I've been doing a lot of interviews today, lining that up. Um, if you're not in our travel group, make sure that you come on and join us. If you're on Facebook, we have a travel group for the Sankofa experiences on Facebook. I'm just trying to pull up the URL really quick. To bring that over, I definitely want to make sure that I give you an opportunity to join that, because this is the link to our travel group. Travel group on FB. Yeah, make sure you join that if you haven't yet. So we appreciate that. But every Tuesday we do Travel Talk Tuesday. So there's a deeper dive into a particular subject, or either we're showing testimonials or information from experiences from the trip, some videos, some conversation, and deeper dives into all the different various elements that come up when you're talking about traveling to Africa and throughout the African diaspora. Today, we did a deeper dive on travel insurance and the importance of it. There's some nightmare stories out there of people going abroad and then getting ill for whatever reason, whether the pre-existing condition or something happening on the trip, and literally going bankrupt as a result because of the prices that medical expenses can cost as a foreigner in a different land. And you may have great health insurance here in the United States, but 9 out of 10 times it's not going to be accepted in the foreign country. So you have to pay for all of these expenses in cash. So we went through this, and obviously we're going to talk a little bit about travel insurance here today. So I just wanted to start the highlight, the beginning of the show. Of the info session today, talking about that and bringing that up and just keeping that at the forefront of your mind, because if you decide to join us in Ethiopia, that's going to be an immediate conversation for you to consider as well. All right, so let's see. New Jersey's here, Texas, North Dakota, Florissant, Missouri. Anita, there was an interesting, this is totally off subject, but Florissant, Missouri, I just saw there's a restaurant there that just has decided that they're only serving men 35 and up and women 30 and up in their restaurant. I don't know if you saw that article. That was just kind of weird. I saw Florissant, and my wife's from the East St. Louis areas, and one of my roommates in college was from Florissant, so I just that city kind of sticks in my mind. All right, Virginia's here, New York City, New York, California, St. Louis is in the house. Okay, Chicago, South Side. Yeah, if I find that article, I'll try to slide it in, right? Um, but yeah, it's kind of interesting stuff. I am in the south suburbs of Chicago, Illinois, and good brother Jay, who I'll bring on, is back in the DMV area. He was just in Brazil. I can't keep up with the brother. He's always all over the country, all over the globe. But we're here today to talk about the Sankofa experiences and going to Ethiopia. I'm excited about that trip myself. I can't wait to engage Ethiopian culture, Ethiopian food, and then of course the deep, rich history of the country. How many of you're probably aware, right? I've been seeing this going around that Ethiopia is the only African country that doesn't have an Independence Day. And that's because they successfully resisted colonization and overthrew at least the Italians and the British in that particular area. So that's always I know that's always a high point of interest for people in the African diaspora because of the pride that they exude centered around that. There's some conversations about the Western influence on the country, but it's definitely a place with deep, rich history. There's definitely some roots in Christianity there. We're going to go to a lot of the wonderful sites, and I won't try to do it all right here in the beginning with you, but we're definitely going to get into that once I bring up my man Jay. Ashley, can you give me a link to Jay's bio? I just remembered I needed to get that from you. I wanted to get that from you as well. I have our chat open over here. Okay. I want to remind you that we will have an open Q&A. So any questions that you have or concerns that you might think of, you can drop them down in the comments. We'll be gathering the questions and we're definitely opening up for the Q&A. And at the end, you're going to have a chance to raise your hand and ask your questions directly. So we're open to that as well. I want to formally welcome you, right, to the show, to our info session. But most importantly, to our Sankofa experiences. Oh, I just messed that up real quick. We go back. All right, so it just wants to give me a problem today. Everything is messing with me. So y'all can see my screen, but I don't think that you can hear my videos that I want to play for you. There we go. I'm gonna try that one more time. Bam, got that. All right, here we go. So give me a yes in the comments if you can see my screen. You should be able to see welcome to Sankofa Experiences. That should be what is up on your screen. Give me a yes. Okay, I see a couple of yeses rolling through. Thank you. I appreciate your participation. And welcome everybody that came in just a couple of minutes late. We are just getting started. What I'm going to go into the Sankofa Experiences, Black History Travel Made Easy. Let me give you my intro video that we do each time. Greetings, I'm Freddie Taylor, CEO and founder of Urban Intellectuals, and we are behind the Sankofa Experiences. This is where Black History Travel Made Easy is not just our mantra, it's a promise. Our mission? To reconnect you with your roots, your culture, and the history of the African diaspora, now spanning across 10 African nations and the vibrant cultures of Colombia and Brazil. The Sankofa Experiences is expanding. We've crafted curated group travel experiences that do more than just visit. They immerse, they educate, they transform. From the historic forts of Ghana to the bustling markets of Nigeria, the serene beaches of the Gambia to the rugged mountains of Morocco, and beyond even South Africa and South America, each destination holds a special place and part of our story. Embarking on these Sankofa journeys means more than just exploring more landscapes. It means walking in the footsteps of the ancestors, embracing the diversity of our heritage and seeing the world through a lens of understanding and appreciation. It's a group experience where every traveler is a thread in the fabric of the shared narrative, making the journey safe, engaging, and unforgettable. So are you ready to embark on this adventure? To explore, to learn, to celebrate the legacy that connects us all. Join us in the Sankofa Experiences Proudly powered by urban intellectuals. The only thing missing is you. Yes, the only thing missing is you, but we're going to correct that and get you on one of these experiences today. Greetings, I'm Freddie Taylor, CEO and founder of Urban Intellectuals. We're going to keep that in mind. Here we go. As it said, my name is Freddie Taylor. I'm the CEO and founder of Urban Intellectuals. Black History Made Easy is what we're talking about as a company. Many of you have probably seen our Black History flashcards. We've been in Target, Essence, NPR, News One, Fox Soul. 500,000 decks sold all over the world, all 50 states. And internationally, we have the #1 Black History Club for children, the Sankofa Club. Over 254 classes, 500 students. It's available 24/7. There's a lot deeper elements to that. We actually introduced a Black History Club for adults as well. That's new, and we're releasing that on Juneteenth. But I bring up all of that not to try to sell you on everything that we do, but I want to mention it because I want you to know at our core, we are a Black History company. This is what we are about. And this is the effort and the energy that we've taken into our Sankofa experiences to talk about our Black history and culture. I need to mention, I've realized that most people, are you familiar with the term Sankofa? Give me like an S in the comments. If you know what that is, give me a no in the comments. If you're not familiar with this particular term, I realize as we start to go through these things that this word is like really familiar to me, but it's not really at the front of everyone's tongue. So I'm just kind of wondering, are you familiar with it or not? I see yeses. I can't remember if that was yes from seeing my screen or not. But the word Sankofa comes from the Twi language of Ghana. Yes, exactly. From the Twi language of Ghana, that means to go back and get it. So go back and get your history, go back and get your culture, go back and get your experiences and bring that forward with you. And this is a term that's endeared in not just Ghana, but West Africa in general. You see the Adinkra symbols centered around it with the bird with his feet facing forward and his head facing backwards, representing the past that we're bringing forward into our future. So that's Sankofa, right? And this is this term, Sankofa experiences, because we're talking about Black history travel. This is the tie between this language, these words that we use, and the deeper meaning, right? So I got to do a better job of making sure that I illuminate that point on why it's called the Sankofa experiences. All right, so back to my show. But yeah, so we started this movement in October of 2022. That was our very first trip. This is our inaugural trip going to Egypt with 40 people from our community. That's my dad and I there on the left. He's 93 years young in this particular picture, and he's ready to go back to Africa again. He's 94 now. He'll be 95 in October, and he's ready to get back out in these travel streets. So I'm really excited about that. But this was a beautiful trip and a beautiful experience that were able to kick off. So since then, we've taken 277 travelers on 20 trips to 7 African countries, right? We just got back from Senegal and the Gambia, 8 African countries. We just got back from Senegal and the Gambia. It was a beautiful experience there. And one that we're keeping this travel train going. But why should you travel with us? Why the Sankofa experiences? I usually tell my story about Aisha, who went on a similar experience in Egypt, but she went with some other folks, right? She went with a community of people that didn't look like her, that didn't have the same history and culture and understanding the nuances of us, right? Y'all get what I'm saying. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down here, right? But she talked about how that experience, it was cool. While it was cool seeing the pyramids and cruising down the Nile and having that experience, there's nothing like communing with Black folks, right? There's nothing like being on a trip, on an adventure when you're amongst your people. And that's something that was echoed in Senegal. We just got back a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. I can't keep up with the dates not anymore, but it was a beautiful experience. But that was something that they kept echoing in that it's nothing like being with a group of like-minded people that is enjoying an experience and that who are serious about the history, the culture, and the experience that we have on these particular trips. So I always give that word of caution. Who you travel with matters. But this is my dad. I just wanted to drop a couple of videos that he had to say about his experiences. Okay, so my first question to you is, what's your most vivid memory of our travels to Africa, and what stands out most to you?
To Ghana.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know, we've been to Ghana, and we've been to Egypt.
Yeah,
and we've been to Morocco.
You said first trip to Ghana.
No,
to Africa.
Your most vivid memory.
Yeah, well, my most vivid memory was when I struck land there in Ghana. Mm-hmm. There was a feeling I had, you know, it's unexplainable. Never been to Ghana before, but in my mind, say, I'm home, home at last. You know, I mean, that's the feeling you get. You know, it's an unforgettable feeling that place you ain't never been and you feel so comfortable. All of a sudden, there's a bit of freedom amongst you. You know. Yeah. That was not unforgettable. When we got to Africa and went to Ghana, and the first thing I felt was that freedom. You know, I ain't never experienced that before. And I think too, you know, what's the Family Feud guy's name?
Which
Family Feud? What's his name?
Oh, Steve Harvey.
He experienced the same thing. He said when he got to Ghana, he said, just in Detroit, you know, the same feeling, the same walk, everything was so coherent, you know. It said like, hey, I'm in Africa, you know, hey, I'm down in town Detroit or something. Yeah. That's the feeling that you get though, honestly.
Because the people look familiar. Is that the thing?
People look familiar. Well, you know what I'm going to say about the people look familiar. When we went to Egypt, man, I saw an Inkster boy on the walls, man. I don't know how many centuries he'd been there, but he was from Inkster.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the familiarity of what you saw, you know. Those were some unforgettable moments when Jay said, come here and look at this. You know, hey, I know you. Yeah, it was beautiful. I love it.
That's good. That's good. That's my man. This was taken like about 2 weeks ago when I came back from Senegal. I always go home. Anytime I come back from the continent, I definitely go home. And if he doesn't come with me, I definitely go home and hang out with him and kind of unpack the stories with him. So I just wanted to do a little conversation with him about that. Like he got paint all over his hands because he's an active 94 years old, right? So he's always up to something in and around that house. But yeah, so I didn't want to. I'll play a little bit of this one too.
I'm just proud to be an African. I'm proud of the African descent. You know, being an American. I remember the times though. I would have said, hell, I ain't no African. Shit, I ain't never been. I don't know about them people over there. Mm. And in high school and thing when you have American history, you know, African history, they talk about the African. Blacks refuse to acknowledge that they're part of that African continent. You know, I ain't no African. I'm American. All that crap. But now the time has come. I'm proud to be an African, African descent. You know.
Yeah.
Just like the Irish got their Irish descent, the Italians got their thing, the Germans got their. Everybody got something. And we were denying ours, you know. Mm-hmm. But no more. And the thing, what kills me though, the richest continent in the world.
Oh, he about to take a left on y'all on that one, so I got to slow that video down. I want to keep it all congruent here with what we're talking about. Okay, so my first question to you. Yeah, I'll just love to get his experience. Get to see this opportunity from the eyes of the elder, somebody that you know, was born in 1929 and had an experience there in the continent after being told, like you said, like, you know, black ain't nothing but Tarzan and all of that going on that continent. And turns out all of that is a big, bold lie. And this is what we're uncovering with these Sankofa experiences. But sometimes it go a lot deeper as well. There's more to the story. There's more to this adventure than just everything that you see. There's a connection. There's a feeling. That's an overall thought. Take a listen to this young lady here and her words.
Hi, in America, my name is Crystal Taylor, and I was born and raised in East St. Louis, Illinois. and currently live in the south suburbs of Chicago. But just now today, I have been given my Ghanaian name of Adwa Mansa. It's Adwa Mansa. Mansa. Adwa Mansa. Mansa. Adwa Mansa. Mansa. And today, when I saw what was going to happen on this trip, I knew that this would be the moment that would break me. Because I wanted to be here for so long. And at 46, I'm finally actualizing this dream. And I feel such a connection, such a warmth and welcome from our African family. And it means so much because in America, we've been taught that we're not liked here, we're not wanted here. But there's been nothing but love and excitement to see us. And today, to be given my name from the village chiefs, I can't explain how it feels. And I can't stop crying because it feels so good. Because I feel so loved here. It feels like home. And I'm just grateful. I'm really glad that I've had this experience. And I just couldn't expect to ask for anything else.
Yes, see, that's my wife, by the way, but she had a beautiful experience there in Ghana. But it's that cultural element that we add to all of these trips, right? So you might not have the exact same experience she had there in Ghana, but we're going to have something similar in Ethiopia, right? As we go through, all of our trips have a cultural element to it, going to see the community, going into the community, to the people, see how they live, taste their foods, and hear the music and dance. And we're going to have the entire experience as well. Now, this was a particular trip. Oh, man. Actually, I'm having this same issue that I had earlier today trying to get back. But anyway, this is a beautiful experience that we did last year, right? Black History Month in the motherland, Egypt, February 2023. I showed you pictures pictures of my dad on a particular trip. So that following February, I took my wife on the trip with us to Egypt. So we had that tour, we had that experience, then we flew across the continent and picked up our Ghana tour that you see on the right. This is us overlooking the sky bar there in Ghana, and having a beautiful experience all the way along. But also inside of this picture is my man, Jay Cameron. Jay Cameron is our Chief Travel Officer inside of the Sankofa experiences. He is really where the rubber meets the road. And all of these experiences really come to life. So we always appreciate this good brother and the work that he does. There we go. Finally got myself back on the screen. All right. But yeah, so he does a wonderful job helping us put all of this together. So I definitely want to bring him up and get him to the stage so we can have this conversation to elevate and show you the opportunity to go to Ethiopia, give you the background, give you all of the insight, give you the education that you need to make a decision, and of course go through the itinerary and answer any of your questions. So I do want to bring him up, but let me do him some justice and actually read this brother's bio so I can get this right? Let me do it right, good brother Jay. All right, so it's my pleasure to introduce the man with the plan, right? Our Chief Travel Officer, Mr. Jay Cameron. With a rich background in travel, Jay has journeyed through 23 African countries, pioneering an exclusive Black travel experience for our community. He has been to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, the slave dungeons of West Africa, the Great Pyramids of Kemet, and the lush landscapes of Africa, and many places in between. Jay is building bridges so that we can reconnect with the African diaspora, starting with these experiences. His profound expertise in traveling the African diaspora is truly remarkable, making him a sought-after resource and a valuable asset to our organization and community. Let's drop some excitement in the comments as we bring up to the stage my good brother Jay Cameron. Hey, good Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Freddie. Oh man, thank you. How's everything going?
Excellent, excellent, man. We definitely appreciate you as usual. Where are you at in the world right now? I think I said DMV. Am I correct?
I'm in the DMV. I'm in Maryland of the DMV. So that's yesterday I was in yesterday I was in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and you talked about the African diaspora in building these bridges. It is fascinating. Hey, Alicia, how you doing? It is really fascinating to see how all of these different aspects of the African diaspora intersect. It is something, I'm telling you. It's even from Ethiopia, when you understand the history in the eastern part of Africa, which is different from the west side. But here's what's interesting, and I'm gonna show you how this all ties together. Little country in Western Europe and Iberian Peninsula called Portugal. The Portuguese put their imprint, their stamp all over Africa, the west, the south, and the east, and the north. As a matter of fact, even in Morocco. And so then, when you go over to Brazil, that was colonized by the Portuguese. You definitely see their influence there. But over in the east, even on the side, I know a lot of people will mention that Ethiopia was never formally colonized, but there was definitely some influence there. You see some Italian influence, you see some British influence, you see some French influence in that part of the world, and so it's fascinating when you start learning about the African diaspora, and that's those people who descend from the continent of Africa, and they have been dispersed throughout the world. And I'm telling you, when you see it in person, there it is undeniable, and it really awakens a curiosity, and you want to see more, and you want to learn more, and then you find out how malnourished the educational system is in many of these Western countries, and not just in the systems, but in our homes and our families and our communities. We find out that there's much of the information that we've been told has been it was skewed, so only a certain piece of the puzzle was given to us. But then, oftentimes the pieces of the puzzle are inaccurate or incorrect. So when you go and you see for yourself, it does something. Just like your dad was saying, it's like, wait a minute, it's something it's like it empowers you. And so sometimes people don't understand the value of traveling because they think of it. They think of it from the standpoint of, oh man, it takes a lot to do it, or fear gets in the way. But when you jump out here and you start learning and you become empowered and you can start seeing things, and here's something. Freddie, you like this. I was getting on the plane, leaving Rio de Janeiro, and this is how the African diaspora connects. So I looked at the brother's name tag, and his name was Abdul Sese. And I looked at him, now because I spent a lot of time in West Africa, I say he's not from Rio de Janeiro. He's not from South America. I could just spot. I was spotting people from Mozambique, and I looked at him and I said, where are you from? He said, I'm from a country called Sierra Leone.
Get out of here.
I said, really? Now, this is about to get deep, man. I said, really? I said, well, I descend from Sierra Leone too. I said, I'm of the Timide people. He said, I'm Timide. He said, I'm Timide. So this man, he came back on the plane. I boarded the plane. He came back on the plane. He said, man, you look like someone I know. And he said, when you walked up, he said, you look like someone I know. And he said, but this is amazing, And so now here I am. I'm in Rio de Janeiro. I'm in South America. But because I had taken the time to travel to Sierra Leone and research my own history, it was like, and I'm a dual citizen of Sierra Leone like you and Crystal, Freddie. It was like it did something for him, because it was now, okay, wait a minute, I know this guy, he has this United States accent, but he just said my ethnic group is Sierra Leone. And so it was empowering, and it was a moment to say, keep learning and don't put this thing down. Keep going beyond the systems. Keep pushing past when people want to speak fear and doubt and all these other things that come with it. Just keep going. And that's the beautiful thing about what the Sankofa experiences are doing. You know, it's these connections. And I want other people to have those encounters, and they can speak with authority and knowledge and say, yeah, I've been to Sierra Leone. Man, we can talk about the rice. We can talk about, or I've been to Ethiopia, and I've been to Arbormench. We can talk about the Rastafarian community. We can talk about Addis Ababa. We can talk about the honey wine. We can talk about all these things and not be those of us who say, man, I've never been to the continent. Man, I went on a Carnival cruise, but man, I never, So anyway, man, that's what happened, and I love to share it because it's we have people who are having these Sankofa experiences and are traveling with us multiple times. But as you're hearing what I'm saying, I want you I want everyone to have that encounter, because that was what the Portuguese and others did not want to happen. The Portuguese, the French, the Dutch, the Danish, the French, the Spanish, the Germans, I think I did the British, the Italians. They didn't want that to happen. And so they want to suppress information. We see what's happening in Florida, but it's not just Florida, it's all over. And so when we take it upon ourselves to go and see and learn, no one can take that from us. They can't gaslight us. They can't, they try to, but nobody can come and gaslight me after I have these recurring encounters around the world. Come on, y'all. We have to empower ourselves, because nobody's going to do it for us. And when you empower yourself, you use your resources and you empower yourself, you become a different person. And that's the very thing that those players that I mentioned, they didn't want that to happen, but it's starting to happen because they can't stop the information from flowing, and that's what we're doing. So that's why it's important for us to talk about these Sankofa experiences and continue to bring them to you so you can have these encounters for yourself. So that's what I got, Freddie. You can tell I'm excited.
I always love it, brother. I love to hear from you, and I know the audience does as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of the way. You can start to get into the details of this Ethiopian adventure. We're going to open it up. Do your thing, good brother.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you again. My name is Jay Cameron, and excited to share with you another Sankofa experience brought to you by Urban Intellectuals, and really excited to be able to share this time and time again. We'll continually come back and offer these travel experiences, one for you and your family. We've seen entire families come on these journeys because they recognize the importance of it. It's nothing like taking our young people and giving them this exposure while they're young, so they don't wake up at 40 and 50 and say, well, no, I haven't been anywhere else. But then when they talk to their peers from other ethnicities, they've been all over the world. They've been, every place else. And just like Freddie's dad was talking about, there's so many who go and, he was talking about how there was a period in time where there were a lot of Black Americans who denied their African heritage. And that's, that's part of systemic brainwashing and conditioning to say, no, you're not that. Or even sometimes it's like white supremacy manifested through brown bodies. When you study psychology and understand the human nature and all those types of things and social influences, it can have you begin to see how that impacts people. And when you can break free from that, that's something that what Freddie does with his cards and with the flashcards, and what he does with Urban Intellectuals, that's helping people break free. And so for those of us who understand it, we have a responsibility to help continue to help ourselves break free, but then be an inspiration for others to break free from the madness. So here's the deal. Tonight we're going to talk about Ethiopia. Ethiopia is one of the most unique places that you'll ever visit in this world. And it's not because of the fact that, they didn't have formal colonization. It's because of the variety of cultures that are there. Most people think that Ethiopians look one particular way or behave one particular way, but Ethiopia is a very, very culturally and ethnically diverse country. You have these beautiful mountains. When you fly in, you have these beautiful mountains, and they're green, but it's not just trees. It almost looks like grass on the mountains when you're flying into Addis Ababa. But then even when you're flying into Gondor or to Lalibela, you just see these mountains, this endless mountains. When you get into Gondor, and that's one of the places that you'll have a chance to visit as a part of this experience, they have these castles. Look like some, look like something out of, I just lack of better terms, something out of Camelot. That's what a lot of people are familiar with. But these ancient castles that were built, and you go and you have a chance to walk through and learn about the history. And then there's this big pool, and if you go at a particular time of year, they have this big festival. And this festival, people come from far and wide to jump into this big pool, and it's a huge celebration in Gondor. But another beautiful part about Gondor is just being around the people. The people are so kind. The people of Ethiopia, and you just see, how welcoming they are. They most of them don't know the Black American story or the Black Brazilian story about the transatlantic slave trade. That's not their history. That's of course that's not what's going to be taught widespread in their educational system. It's barely taught in ours accurately. So so the thing is, I don't go to countries like that expecting them to roll out a red carpet and say, hey, come on, welcome back. Whenever I go to a country, I look and I say, what can I learn from this? And I've heard so many stories about Ethiopia and the ancient aspect of it. That's why, the Nile River and being able to connect that. And when you see how the water literally flows, in the connections and how the two parts of the Nile River connect and then flow up into what we now know as Egypt. But when you get into the Ethiopia story, you learn about the people, and you learn about how they did resist colonization on many levels, especially during that time. It's inspiring. That's the one part. And then you understand how and why Ethiopians are so proud worldwide. DC here, DC, as a matter of fact, when I leave, when we wrap up tonight, I'm going to dinner at an Ethiopian restaurant. Because there's so many Ethiopians in DC. And so they have certain areas of of the DMV where you can find a lot of Ethiopians, and they're proud of their culture. And they should be, because they didn't lose it. So they know the Amharic language. They know their customs and their traditions and their shoulder dance and all that thing. And I'm trying to get it. I don't know. That West Africa might slow me down a little bit, but but I'm gonna figure it out. When I get I'm gonna have somebody teach me how do I do this thing the right way. I watch enough of it when I go to the restaurant, so I'm gonna be getting this whole Ethiopian dance together. But it's a beautiful thing to see the culture. When you see the variety of complexions, because again, a lot of people think, they look kind of like Arab, they look kind of this. In Somalia, the Somalians and Eritreans pretty much have the same look, but then you go to other parts of Ethiopia and they'll look West African. And you'll say, well, wait a minute now, I thought all Ethiopians look like this. Kind of like when you go to Egypt, northern part towards Cairo, they have one particular look, and then you get down to Aswan and they have a different look. And that's the part, when you get that, and you say, wow. So I'm going to take you inside of what you can expect when you join us in Ethiopia. And then I'll walk down some of the pricing and how you can sign up. And we do have a special for you tonight. And then answer some questions. And then we'll get ready to see you in Ethiopia coming up very soon. We have March and October 2025 coming up. So those are the dates, and we'll share that. But in the meantime, take a look at this about the Ethiopian experience.
Welcome to the land of ancient history, breathtaking landscapes, and genuine hospitality. Welcome to Ethiopia. Feel the anticipation in the air as you step onto Ethiopian soil, knowing that your Ethiopian odyssey is just beginning. Leave the transportation arrangements to us. We've coordinated a private shuttle to whisk you off to your hotel, ensuring a smooth start to your journey amidst the comfort of your accommodation. After a day of travel, it's time to unwind and immerse yourself in the vibrant pulse of Addis Ababa. Settle into your hotel room and prepare for the adventure ahead. Tonight, join us for an enticing dinner at a local restaurant where you'll savor the flavors of Ethiopian cuisine and receive a briefing on the exhilarating itinerary awaiting you. Awaken to the aroma of freshly brewed Ethiopian coffee and get ready to explore the dynamic streets of Addis Ababa. Our urban exploration begins with a visit to Unity Park, nestled within the Grand Palace, a testament to Ethiopia's rich legacy. From there, we'll proceed to the National Museum, home to the renowned Lucy fossil, offering insights into our ancient heritage. Today, embark on a culinary adventure through Addis Ababa, indulging in traditional Ethiopian delicacies at local dining spots. And for our vegetarian and vegan comrades, fret not. Ethiopian gastronomy boasts an array of plant-based delights to satisfy your palate. Following your feast, partake in some retail therapy at the bustling Mercato Market, where an abundance of treasures awaits. Embark on a cultural voyage to Shashimane, the Rastafarian hub of Africa. Immerse yourself in the Rastafarian lifestyle and explore this vibrant enclave nestled within Ethiopia's heart. Subsequently, journey to Arba Minch, where you'll unwind at a serene resort and embark on a scenic boat excursion on Lake Chamo, including a visit to the Crocodile Market, an authentically Ethiopian experience. Delve into the traditional Dorze way of life as we venture to a local village celebrated for its bamboo dwellings and weaving craftsmanship. Immerse yourself in the vibrant culture and traditions of the Dorze community, gaining insights into their customs and heritage. Fly to Gondar, Africa's Camelot, where history unfolds amidst the fortified Fossil Gebi royal enclosure. Explore the grand 17th century palace of Emperor Fasilides and indulge in culinary delights at the renowned Four Sisters restaurant, a fitting culmination to a day of exploration. Embark on a pilgrimage to Lalibela, a town steeped in spirituality and home to the iconic rock-hewn churches. Marvel at the architectural marvels sculpted from solid rock and immerse yourself in the sacred ambiance of this hallowed site. And no visit to Lalibela would be complete without partaking in a traditional Ethiopian coffee ceremony, an age-old ritual celebrating camaraderie, hospitality, and reverence. As your Ethiopian sojourn draws to a close, bid adieu to the rural allure of Arba Minch and return to Addis Ababa for one final evening. Reflect on the memories of your voyage as you savor a farewell dinner surrounded by newfound companions and unforgettable moments. May the beauty and diversity of this extraordinary nation continue to inspire you, and we eagerly anticipate the opportunity to welcome you back for another remarkable escapade. Bon voyage!
All right. So there you have it. When you see all of what's in store for Ethiopia, and this is a cultural experience unlike any other. I have to say that Ethiopia is probably the most unique place I've been on the continent of Africa. From the coffee and the popcorn and you're going to experience nightlife. You're going to have a great time. You're going to experience the food, but we're going to also make sure that you have familiar food. So don't worry, you're not going to eat Ethiopian food all the time. But you will get a sample. You get a live show. It's a really, really special experience, and it's one that I know. Because a lot of times you think about back in the day when they would come on TV, oh, the little kids in Ethiopia, send $1 a day and you can feed all the kids in Ethiopia, and that was the narrative, and it just made it look like Ethiopia was this charity case. And, why would anybody want to go to Ethiopia? They're a charity case, other than to go for charity. But see, that's the thing. And that's what you got to understand about media. It could be any media. It doesn't have to be just Western media. It could be social media. It could be all kinds of media. When someone's seeking, and I'll give an example, in that particular case, they were looking to basically make a profit off of these people's poverty. And so they would say, okay, send $30 a month, and then the people wouldn't see 70% of the $30. So they might get a little bit of porridge in the cup, but that was just a portion of the population. It wasn't the entire population. As a matter of fact, Ethiopia is in the top 3 most populous countries on the continent of Africa. You have Nigeria, you have Egypt, you have Ethiopia. And then, of course, you have a bunch of others that fall in there. When I say that, meaning I'm not doing that in order. I mean, Nigeria by far. But just saying that Ethiopia is at the top of the population. So whenever you have that many people, just like with India, just like with China, just like with the United States, when you have that many people, you're going to have a certain segment of that population that does live in poverty. Just imagine if all you saw of the United States were the tent cities in California, or some of the tent cities in D.C. or Chicago, or if you just saw the food lines, and if that's all the narrative is, and that was broadcasted around the world, you say, why would I want to go to the U.S.? Well, what's of interest there? But we know, for those of us in the U.S., many of the beautiful places, and that's what we're going to show you about Ethiopia, so that you can see that. As well as when you go and gain an appreciation for seeing people who may live in areas that are more rural and more traditional and more cultural for them, but there's a wealth of knowledge and experiences and hidden gems in those places, and you'll get a chance to see it as this Ethiopia Sankofa experience unfolds. So here are a couple things I want you to note as you prepare for the experiences. I know there's some frequently asked questions. All right, so the Ethiopia experience. 1, you're going to see ancient history and natural beauty, and that's what is the important part to note about Ethiopia. And so, are these trips child friendly? Yes, they are. Are these trips adult and elderly friendly? Yes. Now, I will tell you that when going to Lalibela and some of the other places, it may be difficult for some of our those who have mobility challenge. I do not want to say elderly, because let me come back on the screen. Let me come back, because some of our elders are outpacing some of the youth on some of these trips. I'm watching some of our elders in their late 80s, early 90s, assisting some of the youth in their 60s around. So I've seen that happen. So I don't want to say elderly. I would say, maybe some of us who may have mobility challenges. Lalibela is definitely not going to be trying to walk down those steps. They don't have handrails or anything like that. So that's more of an experience, for those who may not have mobility challenges. But that is not to discourage you from coming. Even if you can't go down the way that the churches are dug out of the mountain, you can stand there and just look, and you're really standing at the top and look and see, and it is a marvel to see. So don't let that discourage you. But I don't want to paint the picture as if, that this is a trip where you can just kind of sit back, on the bus and just kind of watch. This is not this kind of trip. This is a trip where you're going to want to get out and move around. But just like Miss Ann did in Egypt, she prepared for it. She went to climb to the top of the pyramid. 72 years old, decided that she was going to prepare for it. She did it. And she's been to Ghana with us, and so it opened something new for her, and that's what we want for those who are interested in going to Ethiopia. All right, so is there a lot of physical movement? Yes. Most of our trips do have a nice degree of physical movement. Do we offer payment plans? Absolutely. Is international airfare included? No, it is not. What languages do they speak in Ethiopia? I'm going to say they speak Amharic first, and then they speak English. You should not have any language challenges, because we have our team. They speak English, and they'll be prepared to guide you along the way. And mostly everyone speaks English. That's why we say, there's some influence there. Somebody who's not colonized, the whole country might not speak a particular language. You can tell who colonized where based upon the language they speak. So the good part about it is that Amharic is so strong in Ethiopia that you can tell that there was a resistance. But definitely English is there. Some parts you have Italian. So, but that's good to know. That's good. It's good knowledge to have. But you won't have any language challenges. Do we pair guests? No, we do not. And how much extra money will you need on the trip? We say between $300 to $500, but we say, I like to skew on the higher side of that. $500, you should be good to go. All right. Is travel insurance automatically included? No, but we recommend you get cancel anytime insurance as soon as you book. Can you add someone to your room later? Yes, you can. So let's say, for example, you want to book today, take advantage of the special that we're going to offer, and then you get a roommate, then you can do that with no problem. Now, as far as moving dates around and all of that, that's a whole different kind of conversation, but adding a roommate later is no problem, provided that we have space. So just to keep that in mind, provided that we have space. Which airline should you use going to Ethiopia? I'm going to give y'all one guess. Give you one guess. Ethiopian Airlines is one that I would recommend. I fly it, and it leaves directly out of Dulles Airport. You catch a straight shot into Addis Ababa. So, but there are other airlines. Check which ones work best for you. Which city do you fly into? Addis Ababa. There you go. And what time should you land? Between 12 p.m. and 4 p.m. local time. That is great time, so you could get to check in close, or you arrive close to your check-in time and don't have to get there early and wait around. Now, if so that's a good time to do it on the day of the tour start. The day the tour starts. Next up, vaccinations. The only vaccination you need is yellow fever if traveling from a country with active yellow fever cases. If you're coming from the U.S., then you do not need the yellow fever. So that's the deal. You don't need COVID-19. You don't need anything else. Only if you're coming from a country with active yellow fever cases. So let's say you're traveling around the continent of Africa or someplace else that has yellow fever, then you'll need that vaccination. So what I recommend is that you leave directly from the United States if you're looking to avoid that. If you have your yellow fever vaccination, no problem, you're good to go. Come on, join us in Ethiopia. Can you drink the water? I would not recommend drinking tap water in Ethiopia. Bottled water should be fine, but I do not recommend drinking tap water just because of the filtration system is different. All right, what's included, what's not included? What is included is ground transportation, your hotel accommodation at the Radisson Blu, your hotel amenities, admission to all activities, and breakfast. What's not included, your trip insurance with medical, lunch and dinner is not included, along with beverages and alcohol, and your international airfare is not included, your passport is not included, and your visa to Ethiopia, which you can do online, e-visa, is not included, and it's an easy process. So when you begin to look at this, you begin to see, and we've shared in the video, the rundown on the itinerary. So all of this was in the video that we played. It's a 10-day experience, and this is what you get to have the opportunity to do. And there's some surprises that we throw in there. And so for these Ethiopian experiences, guess what? Let me see if I can bring this back over. I'll be joining you. That's right. Ethiopian experiences 2025. I'll be joining you. So that's because some people wonder, well, Jay, you're going to be there? We're going to be absolutely for Ethiopia. Now, I'm not on all the trips, but for Ethiopia for 2025, I've specified 2025, I'll be joining you for the Sankofa experiences and looking forward to seeing you there, because I know you're going to have a great time. You'll have a chance to talk to me and ask any questions that you have. But I'm not the tour guide. I'm the tour host, if you will. And so we have guides, And so I'm kind of like the guy to make sure everything goes the way that it's supposed to go. So that's some extra assurances, barring me not, being alive or whatever. That's the only reason why I wouldn't be there. But that's what we're looking forward to. Here are the dates. Let me bring the dates up for you. All right, March 12th through 20th, 2025, and October 9th through 18th, 2025. And first come, first serve until the trip is sold out. And we have quite a few people already signed up. I think we have close to 20 something along those lines. Now, let me not quote, actually I guess you can confirm with me. You can send me a message how many people have signed up for the respective trips. But we have a nice group. It's not going to be, we're not going to have a huge group because just because of the lay of the land of Ethiopia, we want the trips to be a little bit more intimate. So that's why we don't want you to go and wait too long, because I tell you, we are looking forward to Ethiopia selling out. It's a very unique place. Folks are interested in going. And there you see the website, sankofaexperiences.com/travel Ethiopia. And the most beautiful part about all of this is that, well, one, here are the prices. And so $46.99 double occupancy per person. And so you can look through here. You can see the different hotels, and you can see everything that comes along with the particular package. So $46.99 double occupancy per person, and then $55.99 single occupancy per person. And you can hold your space for only $199. $199. Here we are. We're 2024. You actually have almost a year where you can pay. You can see the payment plan before you book. It'll be right there in front of you when you go to sankofaexperiences.com/travel Ethiopia. $199 down. And if you book by midnight tonight, we'll take $300 off the cost of your trip. That's right. If you book by midnight tonight, Eastern Standard Time, June 4th, we'll take $300 off of the cost of your trip. If for some reason you say, okay, I can't do it by the 4th, well, by tomorrow, and you get in there by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, June 5th, we'll take $150 off per person off the cost of your trip. And again, just to reiterate, let's say, for example, you want to go on the trip, maybe you want to do double occupancy, but you don't have someone yet. What I suggest that you do, you sign up for single occupancy, secure your space, get the discount. Then, and what we'll do is we'll take the discount off within 24 to 48 hours. So when you see it, we'll sign up, we'll know, and then we'll take that off. Then if you come back later and you say, hey, I have someone, they've signed up. Now we want to switch from single occupancy to double occupancy, provided the space is available, then that won't be a problem. And so that's, now, again, moving dates around and all of that, that's, we'd take that on a case-by-case basis and walk you through that process if space is available. But as far as switching your occupancy, if you do get a roommate, then we can accommodate you with that, provided space is available. And so it's an easy process. We want to make it as easy as possible, and we want to offer you the ability to have the payment plans. It's a low down payment. $199 is, that's very reasonable, and it gives you time to to make your monthly payments. And you can see exactly what your before you even sign up, you can see when the payments are coming out, you can see how much the payments are going to be, and then you really pretty much set it up and allow the payments to take place, and you're on your way to Ethiopia. And if you need assistance with booking your flights, we don't book the flights, but we can refer you to an independent travel agent who can assist you with booking your flights. It's not a difficult process. What a lot of people look for is people they can trust. And as Freddie said earlier, nearly 300 people to the continent of Africa within a year and a half. Within a year and a half. So they're clearly, and some of those people have joined us 2, and some have even joined us 3 times, because they see the focus and the attention that goes into it, and they understand the our goal is to bridge the gap between Africa and the African diaspora, create phenomenal travel experiences while educating and empowering a community of people who are interested in learning about these topics and this information. So if this is something that you're interested in, we are the people that you want to travel with confidently. And as you saw in Freddie talking about Senegal a couple of weeks ago, had the best time in Senegal. And so now, guess what? We're going to have a great time in Ethiopia, and I'll walk you back and let you see some shots of, here we are, South Africa, more from South Africa. So these are things that we're going and doing and sharing. Here are some shots from when I was in Ethiopia. Here's some of the
That sound went out, brother. I don't know if you're chatting over that.
All right, sound went out. All right, so she was making some yeah, that technology. Freddie, I don't know what you're doing, man. You said that technology thing over here to me. I'll put it on. So she was actually making popcorn and coffee in Ethiopia, and that's something that is traditional to the Ethiopian culture. I'm trying to see. All right, you should. Let's see if you can. I'm gonna try this again. All right, can you hear me now? All right, Freddie. All right. So that's one of the most popular restaurants in Addis Ababa. You get a chance to see the shoulder dance. This is me here in Gondor. And how about that? Can you hear me, Freddie?
Yes.
All right, cool. With some of the young folks there in Gondor as well. There we go.
Hey, he looked like that brother from Egypt.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the young man.
The young man you met. I wasn't gonna go there. I was gonna leave that alone.
I knew you knew who I was talking about.
I knew exactly who you're talking about. So here I am in Lalibela. That's what I was saying. You can actually go to Lalibela and still see the church, even if you have the mobility issues. And these are some of the most ancient churches in the world, built in the 12th century by King Lalibela. So here's what one of their traditional Coptic. These are traditional Coptic church. The traditional Coptic church. This is one of their, as we would call it, a church service. So you get a chance to see that. And this is, I'm telling you, when it comes to Ethiopia and when it comes to just all of what you can experience, it's so much. It's so, and again, you go back to the video that I showed earlier. You're going to the village and learning the traditional way they weave and how they do what they do. And of course, you'll get the coffee. I'm going to make sure you get the Caldies. That's like their Starbucks. But you'll get a chance to have Caldies and be a part of the Ethiopian vibe. So that's the deal. So let's talk about it. I'm sure there's some questions. I'm sure some people want to know what's next. How do we do it? Let me just run this down real quick. So everybody, $46.99 double occupancy per person, $55.99 single occupancy per person. International airfare is not included. All you need is $199 down. And again, the value is priceless, because when you enrich yourself, some of us have spent a whole lot of money in the Western education system for education that might not be bringing the necessary return. For some it is, for some it's not. But you look and you say to yourself, when you take just a few in comparison, this is a fraction of what many of us have spent and what we can gain from it. And that's what I look forward to everyone know what you can gain from it. So then, but if you sign up tonight, by midnight, 11:59 p.m. or midnight, we should say, June 4th, Eastern Standard Time. $300 come off, and then you have here for those who are interested. You can't do it tonight, but you want to do it tomorrow, June 5th, by midnight, going into 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll take $150 off your trip. The dates again, March 12th through 20th, 2025, so almost a year from now. And then for those who want to go later into 2025, you have more than a year. So you have almost 18 months for some to be able to go and make this trip happen. SankofaExperiences.com, travel Ethiopia. Come on and join us and have the experience of a lifetime. All right, now it is time to answer some questions. All right, Freddie, let's get ready to rumble.
Let's get ready to rumble. Yeah, good job, good brother. Nice presentation, and we definitely appreciate that. I want to start off by saying, hey, he talked about one of the trips being booked up, right? Like, we really did a good job of pushing that March trip 2025. There are 4 spaces left for that trip for March 2025. So if you're thinking about it, don't think about it too long. Make sure you jump on SankofaExperiences.com/travel Ethiopia. You have an opportunity to go on our inaugural trip to Ethiopia in March of 2025. That is March 12th through the 20th, 2025. Again, 4 slots remaining. Brother Jay is going to be on both trips in 2025. I'll be there in March of 2025 for this kickoff experience there in Ethiopia. So one of the quick questions for you. Oh, wait. When you sign up tonight, right, midnight Eastern Standard Time, are you going to get $300 off per person? So I did see the sister asking about signing up $199 with her and her 2 children. That's $199 per person. So $199 times 3 will be the down payment. But when you plug all of that in and you select your dates and all that information, you're going to see the monthly payment schedule, right? If you want to adhere to that. You can pay all at once if you want to. You can break it up into 2 payments. You can pay more than what is on there if you like to go ahead and get that knocked out. I heard a lot of travelers love to do that. So by the time they get there, they don't have anything to worry about. They get everything paid off. But again, when you put it in there, and I saw somebody asking about October of 2025 as well. As soon as you go to the page, SankofaExperiences.com/travel Ethiopia, you put in the dates, you make your selection. You're going to see the payment schedule even leading up to October of 2025. The final payment will be due 30 days before the trip starts. So that October 9th through the 18th trip, your final payment will actually be in September of 2025. So you kind of keep that in mind. But again, you can see the payment schedule all laid out for you. We have a bit more trips, spaces available for that 2025 trip. We did a good job of focusing on the March trip, but this is why we're open in 2025 October now. So make sure that you sign up. Again, midnight Eastern Standard Time, you get $300 off per person. So to the sister that's signing up, considering signing up with her 2 children, that'll be $900 in savings on the totality of the trip. If you put down your $199 tonight, midnight Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, you still can get $150 off. Yes, a replay of this will go out in the morning. So if you can get the replay, watch it again, share it with some friends and family or some people who might be of interest in making this trip of a lifetime with you. I see one quick question, brother. What's the weather like in October?
All right, October in Ethiopia. So Ethiopia is a really interesting kind of place. It can be chilly, so it can. It can get Ethiopia can get cold at night. I remember one time I was in Ethiopia, and it was pretty chilly at night. So what I would say for that time of year is to be prepared for the weather to be more kind of like on that fall side, but it can get warm during the day. So it's Ethiopia is a really tricky kind of place to navigate. But when I say that, meaning it's not going to be ice cold. So you're not going to have to come over there and worry about snow or anything like that. But sometimes if that temperature at night can dip kind of like in Egypt, it can dip in the evenings, but just kind of prepare for fall type weather in October.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. The 70s, you can expect the
Yeah.
70s, and then it'll get a little bit chillier there at night. How about March? Let me look that up. March. Yeah, seems like it's about the same, right? So
I was about
like
to say,
79, 80s. Yeah,
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 yeah.
might touch the 80s, but it's that at night. Things
It's,
will be a little bit chillier, cooler. I remember that's how it was in Ethiopia, right? Excuse me, Egypt. At night, it was a little bit different.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
little bit different at night, especially we were doing ATV and around the pyramids. I remember that you had to bundle up. Yeah, come on, Bridget. All right, sign up, get your $300 off. I'm waiting to go. I'm going. I will be signing up for October tonight. All right, Bridget has made her decision, made up her mind. She's definitely gonna lock in her slot for this adventure, right, of a lifetime in Ethiopia. You were mentioning the coffee, and I remembered, coffee was originated in Ethiopia. Like that is the home of coffee around the globe. I don't know if most people knew that, right? Like that's always
Yeah, yeah,
a fact. Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's what they're proud about, that coffee. It's something, and that popcorn. It's an interesting combination. I mean, if you really want to expand yourself, Ethiopia is the place to do it. It is. Did I ever tell you how I got turned on to Ethiopia?
Nah, come on with it. Give me. We
You know,
love
I
the
got these
story.
stories. Yeah, I got another
Yeah, I love
story.
the story, though.
I said if somebody ever did a story about my life, they couldn't do it. There's too many stories.
It's too many.
So, man, back in 2016, you gonna laugh. So, I was riding in an Uber, and the gentleman, I was getting ready for my summer camp, and the gentleman said his brother made $20,000 a month driving for Uber. So I was like, what? Right, just like how you pause, just like everybody stopped whatever they were doing, they stopped. I stopped. I said, "What?" And so I was actually getting ready for my summer camp and going to work on some of the buses and getting them ready. Then I said to myself, I said, I think I'm gonna go out here and try and see if I can make $20,000 a month driving for Uber.
You went for it, bro.
Oh, I went for it. I went for it. I went for it. I was out there driving. I was your friendly Uber driver, and I was determined. I figured out how to get to $10,000 a month. I did figure that out.
Okay,
Yeah, well, that's not too shabby.
not too shabby.
So no, I couldn't get to that 20. But what happened? I started meeting people from all over the world. I'd pick them up from the airport, and they were telling me, "Jay, you need to have a podcast. You need to do this. You need to do that." I just kind of chuckled to myself because they didn't know.
Yeah.
So all the things I was doing. But one day I picked up this lady in Alexandria, Virginia, and so I looked at her, and I was trying to figure out where she was from. And I was like, "Well, where are you from?" She said, "Well, where do you think I'm from?" So I just took a wild guess. I said, "Well, Ethiopia." She said, "I'm from Ethiopia." I
Wow.
said, "Oh, okay." I said, "So what is it like in Ethiopia?" And she said, "Oh, you'd love it." I said, "Really?" She said, "Yeah." She started running down all the different things about Ethiopia I didn't know. And I said, "Wait a minute." And so their calendar is different. So they're like 9 years different from our calendar. And
Right.
she talked about all the different places, talked about Addis Ababa. So in my mind, I'm thinking Ethiopia is this place with all these poor, destitute people walking around. And she said, no. She said, we are proud of our culture. And she educated me in a 20-minute Uber ride. And I never forgot it. And I told her, I said, well, one day I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to Ethiopia. I said, I'm going to go. So when I finally she was a singer. She was a singer from Ethiopia. She was on Big Brother Africa, and real popular. And so I said, all right, I'm gonna go to Ethiopia. So when I went to Ethiopia, I reached back out to her. I said, I made it to Ethiopia, and she was shocked. She was shocked. She was like, "What? You made it to Ethiopia?"
You actually went.
I actually went, but when I went, y'all, this is why when I see the mom considering taking her children, what Ethiopia did for me is it showed me how much I didn't know, but it inspired me.
Yeah.
So I didn't like Ethiopian food for a minute. It's my favorite African food right now. I told you I'm going to get Ethiopian food tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm getting back in the States off all that good Brazilian food, and I'm going to get the Ethiopian food.
Going straight to
So
Houston.
my palate is expanded.
Yeah.
And so imagine, for a child, if the child's palate expands, what that can do. They're like, oh yeah, I know how to. I'm used to this food. I'm not. It's not a foreign thing. So man, it's so many things about it. But that's for if you're on the fence about it, you're considering it. I'm telling you. Again, I'm gonna be there. Freddie's gonna be there in March. I'll be there in October as well. You don't want to miss this trip. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but the palate can expand and the mind's going to expand with it, right? So it's just
That's right.
a great opportunity here. Again, locking in $300 off midnight Eastern Standard Time tonight, $150 off midnight Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Again, that's per person. So you kind of keep that in mind. 4 slots remaining for March 2024. Let's see. How long is the flight?
From Dulles.
Always a
Yeah.
question.
Okay, that's good. That's a great question. I was one who didn't want to fly. From Dulles, it's going to be about 13 hours. But you get on Ethiopian Airlines. They come out with that. I mean, Ethiopian Airlines is just a special treat anyway. It just is what it is. And you just sit down and you just enjoy the flight. You watch a few movies before you know it. Take a nap. They feed you well. Next thing you know, you landing in Addis Ababa, and it's yeah. I was just on the flight yesterday. It was 10 hours. I just I wouldn't trade that experience. I wouldn't trade going to Rio. And by the time it was 10 hours from Rio to Houston, 3 hours from Houston to DC, and I would not trade that. That flight was nothing. It was nothing, in comparison. So I can tell you, going to Ethiopia, flying from Dulles to Ethiopia is, by the time you have the experience, you'll forget that you even took the flight. You won't even think about it. You're like, I had a great time. And I was one who did not want to get on a plane and fly, y'all. Wasn't trying to fly. I was trying to drive places to take cruises and stuff. But now, hey, what's next? I'll be in Egypt next week.
Yeah, it's so amazing that you were totally against of flying. That always blows my mind with that. Okay, let's see what other questions we got down here. For the March tour, when does it return to Addis Ababa? Is it the 19th or the 20th?
You come back on the 19th. Come back on the 19th.
Okay, come back on the 19th, and then you'll be prepared to leave on the 20th. So that'll be the flight information. So one thing that we didn't, I know I love to follow up on is reminding you that leading up to the trip, there's going to be a lot of communication between now and then, right? So all of these little nuanced questions that you might have or that might come up, there's going to be culture trainings, there's going to be emails and information sent to you so that you are very prepared for this trip, right? Some might even say too much information, right? But it's better to have more information than not enough, right? And to make sure that you feel comfortable with this travel experience. So keep that in mind, but we're definitely not leaving you out in the cold, right? You're definitely going to be full of information and contact. Someone's asked, do we itemize the pricing? We don't break down the itemization of the trip all the way down to a granular level like that. What other questions? Ashley, I don't think we missed anything. So you can let me know if you have anything else. You can raise your Zoom hand and we bring you up. You click the 3 dots, click reactions, I believe it is. I don't see it. Raise hand. Okay, click the 3 dots and now they just have a raise hand inside of there. You can do that or you can drop your questions down. But we have 2 trips available in 2025 for you. March the 12th through the 20th, March 12th through the 20th for 2025. Again, 4 slots remaining, October 9th through the 18th, 2025. There's enough spots for that one right now. When should I get the insurance? Good question.
As soon as possible. And if you want to cancel any reason, we want you to get it as close to the time of booking, because oftentimes the cancel any reason option will expire around 15 days after you book. So if you want to cancel any reason option, this is how you protect your investment. In addition to protecting your health and well-being while you're traveling internationally, we recommend doing it is just like with anything else. You wouldn't drive off of a car lot without car insurance. So we recommend that when you get a trip, that you go ahead and look into getting that trip insurance within the 15-day window.
Yes, we definitely want you to have that so that you can be protected because things happen. And like I said, I saw some horror stories online of some nasty things that happen. So we definitely want to make sure that we're protecting ourselves. All right, I'm booking it now. That's why I'm asking. I will get it tomorrow. All right, Bridget. Well, welcome to Ethiopia. She has made her decision. She is jumping in. Is that October or March, Bridget? I forgot which one she might have mentioned. But it's either way, it'd be great to see and hear your experience. We'll definitely be in touch, and I want to see all the pictures, right? Like when y'all go, excellent, October. When you go, I want to see all your pictures. I want to see everything from your perspective and your point of view. And we want to hear about your experience, right? I'm very confident that you're going to absolutely love it. Talking with our travelers in Senegal, particularly our returning travelers, right? People who have went to South Africa the year before with us, came back. The young lady went to Egypt and Ghana and then came on to Senegal with us, but always talking to them and wondering what brought you back, right? And everyone talks about the service, the customer service, the experience, and then how well put together and thought out the trip is. And I always love to give my brother Jay his flowers whenever I get an opportunity. But these trips are so wonderfully curated because this brother goes to these places, a year, 2 years ahead of time and builds out the team, the experience, the places that we're going to engage and make sure that everything is meticulously put together. But this is why he was in Brazil, right? This is why he's always traveling. He's loading up some of our trips, right? So it's well put together, it's well thought out, and you'll be very well taken care of. And we know once we get you on the experience, you're gonna love it, right? You're gonna love it. And for our experienced travelers, for our travelers who are always responsible for everything, right? Our travelers that got to make sure that, you putting everything together, getting the itinerary together, gathering the folks and the people. This trip is special for you because for once you will get to relax and enjoy, right? You don't have to worry about the hustle and the bustle. The team will be there to usher the people along, giving you the insight and the information leading up for the next day. Right, so while we're on the trip, we communicate a lot through WhatsApp. So that's an app that we ask that you download. Just makes it easy to communicate with everyone. But you can just relax and enjoy the experience because the itinerary and everything has been laid out for you, and somebody else is responsible for it. Right. I think that's the beauty of a group travel experience, particularly if you're the planner. Right, you finally get a chance to relax and enjoy the overall experience. I remember Brother Kevin from Senegal, right, kind of had that conversation. Like, he was like, "Man, I'm usually the person doing everything," but he said by day 2, I realized I can relax. They got it, right? Like it's really happening, and it's a beautiful experience. So, but I just always love to say that because I know that is because of the front leg work that Brother Jay puts in going to set up these experiences. So we definitely appreciate you, good brother.
Well, I was gonna say, Freddie, I'm actually getting ready to go back to Ethiopia, and so you all are. There's some things that I learned in Brazil from what we're doing in Brazil. We're gonna do in Ethiopia. So it's like so as I go and travel around the world, these experiences just get better and better. So you have to know come March 2025, all the different places I would have. So it's like now it's like creating these 5 sensory experiences. So I was like, oh, I'm going back to Ethiopia to make sure we add this little piece. Now I can't tell you all the surprises. That's the part, But there are some things that I learned along the way that make it where this is a must do, a must see, a must experience. And so I tell you, Ethiopia is this is how I look at it, Freddie. I'm so determined to create a level of excellence for what we do.
Yeah.
One, because of how, for many of us, we haven't had experiences because either somebody's trying to give it to us the cheapest way. Yeah, let me find it. Man, Freddie, you got me started.
Come on.
So I went to Panama. And so the guy, because a lot of times these tour guides will try to steer you where they think you want to go. So I stepped into this one hotel, and I tell him, I said, this feel like where y'all put all the black people. I went right there. I said, this feel like this is where y'all put all the black people, because this is what you think we like. You think you can get us someplace cheap, and this is just how I am, y'all. It is what it is. But this, at least you know who's going ahead. I said no. I said the hotel isn't bad. I said, but this feels like it. So then what I saw everybody getting off the elevator. I said, oh, this is where y'all put us.
Yeah.
I said no. I said I want to go stay at this hotel over here. I said, no, I want this experience right here. I said, no. He said, well, a lot of black Americans like this. I said, I understand, because that's what you are telling us we should like.
Right.
I said, but in reality, give us the opportunity to have the experience. So he got canceled. That particular vendor got canceled because he was trying to think for us. And I'm saying, I know my people and our culture.
Right.
I understand we work hard. We built many of these countries. So please don't try to put us in a box.
Yeah.
And so, that's how I go. I look and I say, well, I know how we've been steered in the U.S. I know we've been educated on many levels. So now let's do it like this, because I know we would appreciate it. And that's what you see, Freddie, when we go to different places, and how the battles that I have to fight, the culture battles, but I fight these battles so we don't have to fight it. So when we get there, we're like, oh wow, man, we had a great time. Yeah, because we're supposed to have a great time. We built many of these countries, or the people or the locals have built many of these countries, and we want to have authentic experiences. We want to support the locals. We want to make sure that the narratives, that the visions, and all of this other kind of stuff that we've heard over the years, that we can have a pure experience, a pure human exchange, and see on both sides that, hey, maybe all these black Americans aren't arrogant and stuck up and entitled. Maybe they are really nice, caring people. Maybe they are. And these are the people that we attract on these trips.
Absolutely.
And so for the person considering taking, the children on the trip, they get a chance to see that without all of that other stuff, and saying that, we're going to put them in the worst possible place, or not the worst, but or the place we think they should go. We do I want to put us in the best places available at the price point that we have, where you can have a great experience and not have to worry about accommodations, not have to worry about where you're going to eat, and just come back, like Freddie said, relax and enjoy. Have a good time, and share your pictures with your family and friends, and get ready for the next adventure.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it. Brother Jay says it so eloquently. I'm gonna give it to y'all plain. Brother Jay got a touch of bougie in him, and
You can't tell about my shirt. My shirt ain't telling.
Yeah, right. I can't. They got a touch of bougie that you're gonna appreciate, though, right? Because we definitely want to make sure that you. I mean, it's not a cheap trip, right? Like we talk about, this is not the discount experience, but you come to expect a certain level of appreciation for your dollars. Let's say that, right? We work hard for the money. We work hard for the experiences that we want to have in our life. And Brother Jay don't cut no corners, man. I'm telling. I can tell you this: the brother don't cut no corners, and you're gonna definitely have a great experience. You're gonna be safe, right? I think like that is a major concern of our audience when we travel. The elders are welcome. You're gonna be well taken care of. The accommodations with the travel and the movement. If somebody needs to rest. You know, if somebody needs to sit back, you know, people are going to stay with you. We're not going to ever leave you alone. Yeah, it's just going to be a beautiful experience, right? These trips, these 5 century experiences, just really have been marvelous. And good brother puts on a hell of a show, man. I gotta say. So this is why I don't have any problem putting my name on it, right? Putting Urban Intellectual's name on it, because working with this brother here has just been like pure magic, and our people love it. So we want to make sure that you have that experience, right? In Ethiopia, coming up in March of 2025, if it hasn't sold out already, or October of 2025, we are gearing up. So SankofaExperiences.com/travel Ethiopia. That is the link. $300 off midnight Eastern Standard Time tonight. $150 off midnight Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Lock in your price for just $199 down. All right. Do I have to pay in installments? Can I put a deposit down and pay in full later?
Well, the installments are set, but if you want to pay more, you can always pay more. And the reason why it's like that is because when it is part of what I talked about before, in order to get the quality vendors, you have to adhere to their system. The quality vendors understand the value of what they bring. The cheap vendors are the ones that you can kind of go in there and kind of just can navigate however you want to navigate, and then that's when you run into problems. So the quality vendors are like, they're taking inventory, if you will. A space is considered inventory. When we say, okay, this is how many people we have coming, they're taking that inventory off of their shelves. So they have us on a schedule to say, okay, we need to collect payment as we go, because now they're ensuring the fact that they're not losing this inventory in the event that someone decides, oh, I just don't want to go anymore, and then they haven't paid or anything like that, and now they're kind of left hanging. So many of these countries are, relying upon the tourism dollars, and they can't take the inventory off and just kind of play around with the inventory. It's just like with any other kind of business. So that's why the payment schedules are set. However, you can pay it off when you sign up. You can pay it off next week. You can pay it off at any point in time along the way. But the payment schedule is set so that we can maintain integrity with our vendors and continue to provide these quality experiences along the way. So it all kind of works together. So people like working with us. That's the deal. We can go places. We can get extras because we show up. We deliver, we pay what we are supposed to pay, and we don't have any problems in that regard. But they're, the vendors we work with, they're pretty strict because they understand the value of what they bring to the table, and they also understand the nature of travel and just things, people changing their minds and all of that, so they protect their interests that way. So I hope that answers your question.
And they take care of us.
Yeah.
Listen, you don't want the bargain basement cut rate vendors that we're dealing with, right? We want professionals that understand customer service and how to take care of people. We want to make sure that we got the right guides, the right historians that are showing up and teaching us the history and the culture and having the experience. So it's just a well curated trip. Everything's put together so great, brother. I always appreciate you. I'm looking forward to it. I get to go on these trips and I take pictures and do videos so I can talk educatedly about the experience and all of that. But I'm literally there like y'all, right? Like I'm there having fun, drinking in the enjoyment, and building my cultural understanding of the Africans in the diaspora, and having a blast while doing it, right? I will say this, Brother Jay ain't the only one that got a touch of bougie in him, right? Like,
tell the truth, say the devil. Tell the truth, say the devil.
Yeah. I was like, I ain't gonna just leave my man out here on that bougie limb over there. Like, yeah, that's our limb. We out on that limb together now.
I see you down at the bar. I see you at the bar.
Yeah.
With your mind. I see you.
Yeah.
With the piggy up. Got the piggy up and everything.
Definitely I like good experiences, right? Like the rest of you, right? We work hard for our money. We work hard for what we do. So why not have a great experience and go right along with it? Regina got a question about looking forward to roster camp. What do we do there?
Oh, well, you have a chance to learn about the. Oh, I heard my own voice there for a second. uh, we have a chance to learn about the Rastafari community and their culture. And that's really key because the connection between the Rastafarians and then, of course, Jamaica. I mean, you see, there's some diaspora connections alone. Just in that setting, but you will actually go into the village, go on a tour, and they will walk you through their history and their lifestyle and their culture. So that's what you can look forward to doing when we go there.
Sister Elaine asks, what activities will we be participating in or are included? I know it's a tough
Okay.
question. You can't just list everything, but
Right, right. Well, in the video that we played earlier, and I would definitely encourage, going back through there. We're going to visit three different, well, actually more than three cities. Goodness, this is actually a busy trip. This is so. So when I say that, meaning you're going to be going, actually to five different cities now that I think about it. So, and each one of them, obviously Addis Ababa, Gondar, Lalibela, you're going to be going to Doors, you're going to be going to the Rastafarian community. And so when you go to these different places, obviously this is a cultural tour. So I want everybody to be very clear. Even though we have bougie elements among us, you're going to be in Ethiopia. And so you're going to see when you're in Addis Ababa, you're going to get that thing, that bougie thing. But when you go to Gondor, that's more ancient. When you go to Lalibela, that's more ancient. When you go to the Rastafarian community, that's more cultural. So you're going to get an immersion into various aspects of Ethiopia, and you're going to see this through different lenses. And I think that's what makes this trip so unique. A lot of times we kind of go, all of our trips we think this way. Like when we were in Gambia, we had a blast in the Gambia. What in the world? You're like people are like, oh, what could you do in the Gambia? Oh, we had a good time in the Gambia. So that's what happens with it when it comes to Ethiopia. I'm going back to Ethiopia now because in my travels, I always look to enhance. So when I go to Addis Ababa, there's certain things, additional things I'm going to be looking for, additional experiences. And then even when I go to the Rastafarian community, for those who sign up, I'll be sending updates. Hey, this is what's going on. Yeah, I started doing this new thing now where I just kind of give updates along the way. I'm here, I'm there. Hey, what's going on? And people really appreciate it because you will get a chance to kind of see a little bit more. Obviously, don't want to give away all of the surprises along the way and different things that we have planned, but just know that the Ethiopia trip you're going to be moving, but you won't regret moving. And we're going to, we're going to take into consideration. Okay, this is happening here. This is happening here. We don't want to run you into the ground, of course, as far as being tired, but we want you to also have this once in a lifetime experience because most people never go to Ethiopia, and to go to see the different parts of Ethiopia, we look to share with you. So again, you'll see the rock-hewn churches. You'll go to the Rastafarian community. You'll see the castles in Gondor. You'll learn about the history there, and you're going to spend time in Addis Ababa. You're going to have the food you're going to have is going to be familiar. And I will let you know, you'll probably have about a 50-50 when it comes to Ethiopia, because when I say 50-50, meaning 50% familiar food, 50% traditional Ethiopian food. We'll prepare you for it. We're going to walk you through understanding that from a palate standpoint. When I go to Ethiopia, I'll be in Ethiopia right after we do Cuba. I'm gonna go right back after we do Cuba with your
oh
dad. So yeah,
yeah,
so I'm gonna hop right back over to Ethiopia, and so for those who sign up, we'll be giving you updates, and you'll see, you'll know. I mean, it's I was on the beach in Copacabana yesterday filming, just hey y'all, we got groups of folks coming. Hey, what's going on? Hey, this is what's up. I'll be Copacabana,
yeah.
So I will do the same thing in Ethiopia. So yeah, but I don't know if there are any other questions. I
Yeah,
want to make.
I always, I don't know if anybody has the question, but it usually comes up with the dietary restrictions. What about vegans? What about
Oh yeah.
vegetarians? You know, I'm
Well,
only pescatarian. Like, can I eat? How's that gonna work out?
oh yeah. Well, if you study Ethiopian food, you will understand that vegans and vegetarians will not have a problem, nor will carnivores. So there's a very interesting. They eat this thing for the carnivores. They eat the raw meat. For those, but now y'all don't have to eat the raw meat. Don't worry.
Oh.
I don't go down that road myself. So
Yeah.
hey, raw meat, no. But somebody
Turns
might
out
get
I got a
better.
limit. Turns out I got a
Yeah,
limit.
I'm not doing the raw meat. I'm very particular, because I'm always I'm the test crash. I don't want to say dummy. I'm not a dummy,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm the test crash person. So I would have eaten the food and found out, if there were any issues. I'd have been the one before you come along. I'd be like, all right, but I do not do the raw meat. But that's a part of their culture.
Okay.
If you
Yeah.
search YouTube and Google Ethiopians eating raw meat, that's probably why they were able to beat the Italians.
Yeah. Listen, we're gonna have to take the word from that one.
Yeah,
Look, we were in Senegal a couple of weeks ago, and we did the walking with the lions and all of that stuff, and like I didn't
you're
think
not
I
doing
would.
the raw meat.
I didn't think I would ever happen, right? Um, it happened, but I'm not gonna eat no raw meat. I'm
Me,
going. I'm drawing the
me,
line on that one. Ashley,
me too.
don't be telling me we need to have that experience.
No,
Let's
no.
not. No,
You would
no.
not- So just know, no raw meat, y'all. We can watch other people do it, but we're not we're not doing the raw meat.
We
But
got
vegans and vegetarians, they have plenty of vegan and vegetarian options. As a matter of fact, tonight when I go, because Brazil did a hurting on a brother, so I said because Brazil they have vegan and vegetarian in Brazil too, but they got the meat thing going on,
yeah.
and so I'm not really heavy on the meat, but for whatever reason, I think I lost my mind in Brazil. So
You said it was pretty special now. So
I think I lost my mind. I was like, no more meat, no mas, no mas.
no problem.
What's my man? Who was that? Who fought Ray Leonard back in the day?
Yeah, no
Um,
mas, no
no
mas.
mas. I said, that's it. I can't do it. So tonight I'm gonna be having me a nice vegan, vegetarian, Ethiopian dinner. Listen, I can't do it. But they have plenty of vegan and vegetarian options. That's the point of everything.
That's good.
We're going to go to the Three Sisters restaurant. I met the Three Sisters, and they are just the nicest. They were so kind, and so you get a chance to do that in Gondor. So it's don't worry about the food options. That's what we do. We go and take a look at all. If we can do it in Brazil, we can do it anywhere in the world. So that's what I was going to do. I was like checking, hey, what about your vegan and vegetarian options? What about your vegan and vegetarian options? And that's in the meat capital of the world, Brazil. And we got plenty of those, So Ethiopia won't be a problem at all.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, Roberto Duran, thank you. Yeah. It was going. Me and the good brother Jay got an interview to do after this, so it was going to be racking my brain trying to figure it out. So thank you for that.
That's right, Roberto Duran. That's
Saved us
right.
some time, right? Okay. Do y'all have any other questions? Are y'all just ready for us to go ahead and exit stage left so you can join us on this Ethiopian experience in March of 2025 or October? Well, while supplies last in March of 2025 or October of 2025. Both dates are available for now through the link sankofaexperiences.com/travel Ethiopia. Just $199 down per person gets you $300 off if you sign up by midnight Eastern Standard Time tonight. Midnight Eastern Standard Time tomorrow is $150 off. And how this will work is once you go ahead and sign up, within 24 to 48 hours, the team will reduce your balance by the $300. So if you sign up by midnight Eastern Standard Time tonight, instead of $46.99, you'll actually end up paying $43.99 minus your deposit. Your deposit does go towards this balance, right? So let me just do the math all the way out. Don't challenge myself. $46.99 minus $199 down leaves you with $4,500. There we go. I almost missed myself. So that leaves with $4,500 balance, and then within 24 to 48 hours, you'll see our team reduce that $4,500 down to $4,200, and then that will be the remainder of your payment. Again, that's midnight Eastern Standard Time tonight to get the $300 off, just $199 down. Midnight Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, that's June 5th. You'll still can get $150 off per person. And the replay goes out in the morning, so you'll catch that. And you'll have an opportunity to share that with friends and family. Look over the video to see all of the details on all of the places that we'll go. But you go to sankofaexperiences.com/travel Ethiopia, and you will see the itinerary. Everything is there that is listed out that you might need. Okay. I'm signing up for a single now. If my daughter goes and signs up tonight, how does that work? That's a good question. Okay,
Oh, yeah, very easy. Yeah, once your daughter signs up, then we can easily just switch the package. Just let us know, and we'll be able to verify and switch the package. Very, very easy process.
Excellent. Thank you, Ashley. I'm glad you sent that over. But yeah, okay, Bridget. Yeah, so you can go ahead and make that happen. You just sign up as a single. She'll sign up and speak with the team, and we'll merge the two. And make sure that you both get your $300 off. That's really what you want to lock in and take advantage of it, because there's shopping opportunities. I didn't realize how much our community loves to shop while they travel. So, Brother Jay, I'll just let you say it before. Are there any shopping opportunities?
Oh yeah. I mean, if you think about all the different places that we're going to, and I mean, I went to a variety of different markets in all of the regions. So, and if you're talking about getting authentic, that's the one thing you'll have a chance to go into the communities and support the communities directly. That's something that is very important, and it will walk you through that process. Now we'll talk about the currency exchange when you exchange your money to birr. That's what it's called, the birr. Ethiopian BRR, it's like BRRR, the birr. That's their currency. Don't worry, we'll walk you through it. You can exchange the money there at the airport. They have other currency exchange locations in Ethiopia, so don't worry about that part. Some places do accept your Visa and your MasterCard. Local areas probably will not. A lot of restaurants will. It just depends. We'll have you prepared. That's all. We'll let you know what to do, how to do it, and have you prepared for your experience in Ethiopia. And we want to make it work for you because I can tell that this group understands that Ethiopia is not a place that comes every day to go to. You know, it's not like, hey, everybody's going to Ethiopia. It's not. This is really a special opportunity that you can take advantage of right now and sign up now, get your space locked in. The prices will be going up only because inflation. That's the other thing to keep in mind. So you lock in now, and then the price is set. But you wait 6 months. I wait 3, 4, 5 months, and then something changes. And the hotel decide they want to charge more money. You know, so different things happen along the way, and so that's why you want to go ahead and get locked in now, and secure your space, and get ready for the trip of a lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say Elaine is saying, are you saying we only need about $500 spending money for the whole trip?
Well, I'll say it like this: if you want to go bare minimum, and then yeah, but I just know how y'all shop, so. But I'm gonna leave that up to each individual. That's subjective, you know. Some
Yeah.
people shop a little more than others. You'll be able to survive and take care of your lunch and dinner, and get a souvenir too with no problem with the $500. You know, so I
So
like to give
yeah, it's something to keep in mind. Like at the hotel, generally you can use your Visa or your MasterCard, or you put it on your room or whatever the case may be. And ATMs, how does the ATM work effectively?
go just fine. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I've used the ATM, taking the burr out of the ATM, no problem.
Yeah, so the one thing that we would recommend is you alert your bank, that let them know that you're traveling. And if you have a credit card, you probably want to use your credit card while you're traveling, right?
Right.
So just kind of think about that. But we can talk about all of that stuff leading up to the trip. And Sister Ashley, let's put that down for a Travel Talk Tuesday. The finances, right? Let's talk about the money and best practices. There we go, for traveling abroad. But typically, when you're swiping your card abroad, you don't want to use your debit card. You want to use your credit card, because it's so much more difficult to get your debit card money back than it is to get your credit card back if something were to happen. Right? I am a precautions type of guy. I like to take care of all of the things that could happen, and best ensure that I'm safe in most aspects that I can take care of. But I just making little smart decisions. So that's definitely one of them. So we'll bring that up. But you're going to want to bring some cash with you. You're going to want to exchange it either. Well, we'll walk through that. We'll walk you through all of that, whether that's at the airport or the hotel or a local banking institution. But you'll have an opportunity to pull some money out of ATM if you need it. So every aspect of this trip has been thought of. And we're ready to service you and take care of you. But we want to bring you to Ethiopia in March of 2025 or October of 2025. So you can join us, sankofaexperiences.com/travel Ethiopia. Lock in your $300 off if you sign up by midnight Eastern Standard Time tonight. Midnight Eastern Standard Time tomorrow still gets you $150 off per person. You just have to put down $199 down to lock in your spot. All right. I think we are good for the questions. I think everyone is just waiting for us to stop talking so they can go ahead and sign up and join us. Who's joining us tonight? Let us know in the comments or ask any final questions. But I'm going to turn it over to you, Brother Jay. Close us out. Let us know your final thoughts.
My final thoughts is this. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. And one thing the pandemic taught us is that tomorrow is not promised. And procrastinating and waiting and pushing it down the line is not going to make it get better per se if it's in you now to make it happen. And that's the one thing I know about us is we do exactly what we want to do. So if you're prompted now to do it now. That's what I did. I was prompted in 2018 and I said, you know what, after doing the Uber experiment in 2016, overcoming the fear of flying and all of that, 2018 I was like, you know what, I've never been to the continent of Africa. And I said, you know, if I don't make this happen, nobody's going to make it happen for me. I was afraid. I was looking at, how much is it going to cost me? Where am I going to stay? All the things that I was thinking that could go wrong. But what was on the other side of that was this amazing travel opportunity to take people all over the world. Didn't know it was going to happen, but I had to act then. Had I procrastinated and waited another year or two, I would have pushed me 5 years back because I didn't see the pandemic coming. I didn't know how that was going to impact all of our lives. I knew I was supposed to make a move in 2018. I moved in 2018. I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro in 2019 and started taking tours in 2019. Then the pandemic came, slowed everything down for almost 2 years. But because I did not wait in 2018, I was already prepared. I started laying the foundation again. As soon as the borders opened in 2020, everybody else was staying home. I was going back to the continent of Africa because one thing that I learned, that in that moment, it was taking advantage. I was supposed to take advantage of that moment. I did it then, and so now all of these people have been able to benefit because I didn't procrastinate. I want you to think about all of the people in your family and your sphere of influence that will benefit because you did not hesitate. You won't be able to see everything down the line because that's just the way life is. We can't predict and see everything, but sometimes we have to go with our instincts. Sometimes we have to go with our heart. Sometimes we have to go with what we know we're supposed to be doing. For whatever reason, you're on this call tonight. You're hearing this information. You're pondering, you're contemplating, you're thinking about it for a particular reason. That could be a prompting for you to act now and to do it now, because who knows how you'll influence someone else. Maybe maybe you going to Ethiopia opens up a whole different conversation, a whole different career path, a whole different expansion of your life. Who knows? But you won't know if you don't go. And that's the one thing I can tell you. If I didn't go to Ghana in 2018, I wouldn't be having this conversation today. And so now, for you, what are you supposed to do today? And that's what we give you. Tomorrow's not promised. Take advantage of the moment now. Make it happen now. And just be excited about what's on the other side. Don't overthink it. Sometimes we overthink it. Think ourselves out of things. Take advantage of the opportunity that's presented to you today. Make it happen, and we'll see you in Ethiopia.
Excellent. Well said, good brother. We will just let it rest right there. We will see you in Ethiopia. If you have any questions that you think about after we leave and you're like, oh, I wish I would have asked, you can shoot an email to support@sankofaexperiences.com, support@sankofaexperiences.com. Alicia says, yeah, just do it. Yeah, come on and join us. Support@sankofaexperiences.com. But support, man, I'm gonna get there. All these S's are tripping me up. Sankofaexperiences.com/travel Ethiopia. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Come on and have this experience of a lifetime. Appreciate you, good brother Jay, as usual. Great job on the presentation. Thank you, Sister Ashley, for working the background and always being reliable and helping us make this experience happen. Good people, appreciate y'all joining us this evening for our Ethiopian presentation, our info session. If you have any questions, just let us know. Lock in your $300, midnight Eastern Standard Time tonight, SankofaExperiences.com. Just $199 down. I can't wait to see you on the continent and have this experience of a lifetime. So see you in Ethiopia. All right, good night, everybody.